Patty, we get questions all the time like, how do you hang things on the wall in your RV?
And also how we keep things from flying around when we're traveling.
So we're going to answer those questions in this episode of
Travels with Delaney.
Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Patrick.
And I'm Patty.
We sold our house back in February, moved into this beautiful Alliance Avenue fifth wheel. We retired from our teaching jobs after 26 plus years this summer, and now I manage Happy Acres Campground here in Northeast Indiana 7 months out of the year, and we're getting ready to head to Texas, Patty.
Yeah, Texas.
For the winter. So today, Patty, I thought what we'd do is answer a couple simple questions that I get on a regular basis where people want to know, like, how do you guys hang like pictures and things on your wall in your RV? Because as most of you know, the walls in an RV are not like in your house. They typically don't have wood studding. There's really nothing to screw into. It's a very thin paneling that it goes into.
And when you travel down the road with something like this, it becomes like, what do they say, like a hurricane in here?
Or an earthquake.
Or an earthquake.
Or any major disaster. So actually the answer for how we hang things like pictures and photos and things like that, it's really easy, and it's command Velcro. Now you can get command Velcro in all different sizes. The main thing you want to watch for when you're purchasing is how much weight it will actually hold. And this stuff is simple to work with. We usually just put 4 pieces, typically 1 in each corner. And then I go ahead, after I've applied it to the picture, I will Velcro the other piece on the back of the picture, pull that off the tape side, and then we place it right on the wall. We have done this for years, and I don't think we've ever had a picture or photo or whatever we're mounting on the wall fall off.
Right, we haven't, and we even use it like behind me in this cabinet. There's like a battery pack for my little vacuum. And the battery pack, we have that Velcro to the wall to save space. So we use it all over the place in different ways. So.
Yep. And we even Velcroed the remote for our chill cubes right to the wall because it didn't come with a holder to mount. So I said, you know what, let's just use command Velcro. And that way, if at any point we decide we want to take down a picture, move it someplace else, or the remote control.
This stuff command is easy.
It will come right off your wall. We've never had an issue with it coming off. The one thing I will caution you on is you don't want to pull out when you're pulling off any kind of command.
Down.
Pull straight down. That will release it, because otherwise if you try to pull out, it is possible. We've seen separation of the wallpaper from the actual board. So pretty simple on how we hang photos and items like that. We just use good old command. But in addition to their Velcro, we're actually also big fans of all of their products. Their hooks, for instance. So this is just a little command key holder that we had mounted in prior trailers. Now currently we don't have it in this one, but it just uses 3 pieces of command tape on it. You can mount it wherever you want. It works great. But then we also like a variety of these individual hooks. This is a double.
We use one right now behind the camera, is one I can see for the dogs' leashes. So it's right by the door. That way we have their leashes.
One for Truman, one for Bess.
We've used these before for like towels or, you know, anything that we need to cook with, you know.
Coats. They're just easy. And again, you can place them and know that you can always take them off if you don't like the location of them, because you can actually buy the replacement tape that goes on the back, and they work great. Honestly, I love going looking for command products because they're useful. We keep a whole supply here in the trailer because as we move trailers over the years, sometimes we need more, sometimes we don't need as many.
And if you haven't dealt with command and just holding it, it brought it to my mind. This one's really lightweight. This one's a little heavier.
Yeah, this one's plastic.
Yep, and this one's not.
And it's metal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just for different things you can use to help keep things off the ground. Use your up space. I always like using my up space, so. And you like command, so
yes. Now, another question we get, Patty, is things that you set out, whether it's on nightstands, our little nightstands in the bedroom. People ask, do you always put that away when you travel?
Nope. And what I use is something I used to use in my classroom for 26 odd years. It's called Poster Tacky, T-A-C-K-Y. I got this from the local Hobby Lobby. You can buy it on Amazon, Walmart, whatever. And what it is you basically, it's like putty. And there's strips in here, and you just pull off what you want. Like here's some that I had used, and I made into a little ball. And let's say I want to stick this on here, and I just put it on the bottom, and I can, and then it'll stay there for me. Now,
that's how you cut down on your sodium intake. You tacky down the salt shaker. Well, probably not the salt shaker.
Right. But sometimes I have found that if your surface isn't flat underneath, you may have to make it more of a different kind of shape.
Or use a little more tacky.
Use a little more. Fresh always is better. This one has been used so it's not as sticky. But it doesn't ruin your surfaces. I used them in my classrooms because we weren't allowed to use anything to ruin walls, take off paint. Sometimes, duct tape would do that. So I use this on anything little, like over here in our cabinet, we have these tiny little plants that are cuties that we got at IKEA many moons ago. And we used them in our other trailers, and then I just keep taking them out. And this just goes underneath. They're so lightweight, and they don't move, and they just stay where I want it to be on lighter weight things that I want to keep out. So
recently, Myron, our official service tech from Landstar RV, was out putting in a dimmer switch in the bedroom, and he was going to move your iPhone charger off of the nightstand, and he went and he's like, he couldn't get it to move. And I think he thought it was actually screwed into the nightstand. And I said, Myron, I can take that off. It's just tacky. And he couldn't believe how strong the actual adhesion, I'm making up words now, was. Yeah. But yet we were able to pop that off, not leave any marks. And so tacky really works well.
Yeah, because basically it's like putty. And you just work it and get it into the shape you need. You may need a little more. And on that one, we have a few little balls underneath that have squished down, and it just holds it right there.
Right. Now, we don't use it on everything. No. For instance, something like the ceramic pot, that's going to get put away because heavier items, it's going to be harder to keep them in place going down the road.
Tacky wouldn't keep this in
But lighter things like phone chargers and the little plastic plants, things like that, we can tacky those right into place.
Pluto over there. I got a little Pluto.
Yeah. So
I keep him in spot.
All right, Patty. Let's talk about some other things you do for travel days to help keep things in place.
Yeah, I like to use shelf liner patches, and we buy it in the big sheets. Like this is a bigger one that we've used to line like the shelves behind us. But I also like to, like on our glasses, our cups that we use for coffee and whatnot, I cut it down, and then sometimes I'll wrap it. I'll make like a little cozy for it and put it in there just so that it has something. Because in a drawer I can put a bunch of this around different ones, and it keeps it all tight. That way those things don't break. Because you try to put your heavier stuff, we've learned, closer to the bottom of the trailer, like the lower shelving. But this also helps keep things, and I put it all over the place. Sometimes I'll even put it between plates and whatnot. Or our pots and pans, just so that they don't get scraped and rubbed and ruined as we travel, because that thing might slide around.
And it really does make a difference in terms of like our Corelware, for instance. It really doesn't move on travel days with having this below it because it really adheres pretty darn good. The other thing that Patty likes to do is use lots of small crates, especially on travel days, to where you'll group things together in a crate, put it back up in the cupboard or wherever it's going, and that way, as opposed to lots of little things that could potentially fly around, you kind of have them all confined in a crate.
Right, because even up here there's a lot of crates that we just put. I don't like little things to fly all over, and so like I said, I put it all in a crate, in the bedroom, the bathroom, anything that I can crate up to keep from flying all over and opening and just getting a mess all over the place.
And this stuff is cheap. You can pick it up at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, whatever your local hardware is.
Different amounts of rubber adhesion to them, so you just get what works for you. So what you like.
Now, sometimes we do worry about things flying out and doors opening in the cupboards. And one of the things we found that works really well are little tension rods, and you can get these in all different sizes. You can see here's a smaller one, a larger one, and these will expand. When you go to order them on something like Amazon, just make sure you know exactly what sizes you need. What I like to do on travel days is expand this out just a little bit longer than what I need, and that way then you kind of have to push in just a little bit to get it in place, and then let go, and it'll be good and strong. And that way, if stuff does start moving towards the door, this will help to stop it from hitting your actual cupboard doors.
We like to use this kind. We've used it in our refrigerator. And we try to put things, as we travel, what's left in there, because we don't usually have a lot, but we push it toward the back, and then put this in there. And then again, you loosen it up, and then you tighten it. And this one you can tighten while it's in there and get it nice and snug. Like to keep water bottles or any of your, cookware, cooking things like oils and whatnot that you have. whatever.
Yep, and these I believe are specifically made for refrigerators because they are a double, so it gives you a little more height
to hold
and
bottles and stuff like that.
and you know, cans of soda and whatever
Jelly
else.
and...
We've been using these for years, and they actually work really good. Main thing is push everything back to in the back, and then put this snug against it. And then when you get there, you can take these out, put your refrigerator back. And then finally, Patty, things that you have to pack away. We have lots of decorations in there because this is our home.
Yeah.
And so with those types of things, you typically like to just find cubbies or areas that you can place them. And sometimes you'll even use things like kitchen towels, bath towels that we already have in here and just wrap around to protect them.
Yeah, because like the little knicky-knacks that we have that are special to us, like right here, there's a drawer that has all kinds of towels in them. I'll probably put some of those knickknacks in here because I can wrap them in the towels and just put them right in there. Or even over behind me in these cabinets, put stuff in that we already have space for, not necessarily packing it up and putting it away somewhere. I'll try and put it in spots that I know, like even in the bathroom where the towels are, I'll put some of the bathroom items like shampoos and whatnot and stuff like that in there to keep it tight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's how we hang things on our walls. That's how we find ways to hang things up in our trailer, and also how to keep things from flying around going down the road. Because like you said, it's like a hurricane or an earthquake in here when you're going down the road, but we still want it to feel like a home.
Right, yeah. Because again, like I say, over the years we learned the heavier things go closer to the floor when you travel. That way they don't pop out and break something.
Absolutely.
So, or break themselves. So.
Well, thank you to all of you who've been asking us questions like that. If you have questions you want to know about RVing or our full-time experience, drop them down in the comments below so that we can put out another video and answer those questions for you. And until next time, everybody, we'll see you.
On down the road.
Bye.
Travels with Delaney. We'll see you on down the road.